Expedia got the base of it right. They're like, hey, I can get a hotel room cheap and easily just going online. I'll do it with Expedia, and that creates a satisfaction. But one of the things, if you book Expedia 10 times for 10 different hotel rooms, they don't really keep track of what your desires are. And so we started to actually say, okay, well, let's figure out how we can keep track of our customers' desires. Because if somebody likes a feather pillow and they are staying with us regularly, we better know that so they don't have to ask for it every time. And if they're booking through Expedia, the Expedia technology doesn't give them the opportunity to actually have that request in their Expedia reservation. So we started actually modifying our technology. And one of the things you'll find in this succeed piece of the pyramid, which is sort of social belonging needs and esteem needs, is that the companies that do this best either do it through training or technology. So think of a tech company out there that focuses on the consumer and knows your desires maybe better than you know your own desires. There's a company that's named after a river. Amazon. So Amazon knows your desires because if you buy on Amazon, you build a learning relationship with Amazon over time, such that Amazon actually is understanding your desires. Netflix does the same things in terms of DVDs, in terms of film. So this is the middle part of the customer pyramid, but the peak of the pyramid up here, and we did that with understanding what people's ongoing desires are at our hotels. But the peak of the pyramid is meeting the unrecognized needs. So Stan, what we needed to do was we needed to actually look at how we could change our website so that it was more appealing to come to our website to meet the customers' desires, but also to meet their unrecognized needs. So what does that mean? What's an unrecognized need? It's sort of like when Fred Smith created FedEx 25 years ago, nobody knew that they actually could send a package overnight. They had an unrecognized need. When Steve Jobs and his team created the iPod, it was the natural next evolution of Sony's Walkman, but it wasn't Sony who did it. And it was sort of like something that hadn't been done before. Or JetBlue added the TV on the back of the seat in front of you on your plane. These are sort of innovations that are not necessarily coming from the consumer. It wasn't the consumer saying to these Fred Smith or Steve Jobs or the folks at JetBlue that this is what you wanted. It was them. It was the company sort of figuring it out. So the thing we figured out is that there are people coming to our hotels in California who are going to stay at our very unique boutique hotels within our company. And they're going to have travel needs beyond just staying in our hotel. They want to know what's cool and interesting to do or see, and they would love to see something that actually fits their personality. Now, they didn't ask for that, but our hotels, each of our hotels in the company is a very unique, niche-oriented boutique hotel, each with its own personality and style. And in fact, we come up with a magazine and 5 words that is sort of the personality touchstone for each hotel. So that first hotel that we created back in 1986-87 in the Tenderloin, a motel called the Phoenix, is a rock and roll hotel. And it basically goes after rock and roll bands. That's who stays there, rock and roll bands and groupies and anybody who sort of loves a funky, adventurous, irreverent kind of place to stay.